Hello again, boys and girls. Can you guess what we're going to talk about today in science? Okay, yes, we are going to talk about precipitation more, and that's what we talked about last. But I have an umbrella because today I'm going to make it rain. Okay, let's review first what we've learned about weather. We've learned that there are many different kinds of weather and that many things affect the weather, like wind, which we learned was moving air. When the warm air rises and the cold air drops, that forms a movement in the atmosphere, and we call it wind. We also learned about temperature. When the mercury rises, the temperature goes up. And when it drops, the temperature goes down. It's colder. And we learned that those two things also affect the clouds. We learned of different types of clouds. Some clouds bring rain. Some are nice, beautiful day clouds, right? And we also talked last about the different types of precipitation, right? Rain, drizzle, snow, sleet, hail. And we learned that temperature affects that. And on Saturday, you may have seen some snow squalls, right? The wind blew in some snow clouds. The temperature was cold enough, so that's why snow came down instead of rain, because the temperature was colder, wasn't it? Well, today we're going to learn, where does all that rain come from? Where does the snow come from? We know it comes from clouds, but how does it come? So I'm going to read you a book first, and then I'm going to make it rain for you. This is called Splish Splash. Splish splash, boots, bites, and puppy paws swish. Through rain and puddles, dirt turns into mud. Streets shine like mirrors. Look up and watch the raindrops sail down from the gray clouds. How rain falls. Rain starts as tiny droplets of water. These droplets hang in the clouds, and when the droplets bump into one another, they join together and grow larger and heavier, and finally, they fall from the clouds as rain. But how do they get there? The water cycle. Rain is part of the Earth's water cycle. This water cycle never stops. That's what a cycle is. It just happens over and over and over again. We learned about the frog life cycle, right? That's a type of cycle that happens over again. Okay, the cycle begins when sunlight heats the water from the ocean, lakes, and rivers. As the water warms, some of it turns into water vapor. This is the air with water drops so small you can't see them. The water vapor rises higher and higher with the currents in the air. As the water vapor gets higher, it cools and turns into water droplets. The droplets form mist or clouds. Remember, we learned how they attach onto particles of dust in the air? The clouds bring rain that falls to the earth, or snow, depending on the temperature. The rain soaks into the ground. It also travels to the oceans, lakes, and rivers. Some of the water evaporates. Then the cycle starts again. So there's a little picture. It just happens over and over and over again. And I'm going to show you the picture I drew, and you'll work on one similar today. Rain on the earth. Rain falls on most of the earth. In tropical countries, the air is often humid. That means it's warmer. It is loaded with invisible water vapors. Some tropical areas get rain all year. Others get very heavy rain off and on. Giant rainforests thrive in rainfall. In other areas, like deserts, these areas are mostly hot and dry. In desert areas, it does not rain often. And when it does rain, it downpours. Downpour means it rains very heavily. So it doesn't happen often, but when it does, it happens very heavily. We need rain. Rain gives us fresh water to drink. It helps the trees and plants grow, giving us fruits and vegetables to eat. Rain cleans the air by washing away dust and dirt. Take a shower, wash your clothes. Drop an ice cube into a glass. All the water we use comes from rain, right? A natural resource. rain droplets can freeze high in the air. Then they fall to the earth as hail. Hailstones bang against roofs and windows. Thick hail can cover streets or sidewalks like snow. So sometimes you get very heavy rains, and sometimes we get hail, sleet, or snow, depending on the temperature. Skip that one. Water pours from a faucet into a bathtub. The water in the tub first came from rain. The water that cleans your face and hands first fell to the earth from a cloud. Rain gives us water to drink, to clean, and to play in. Okay, so I'm going to show you the poster I made because there were some big words in that story. So let me move my precipitation, and you will see this is the water cycle. Now I have this here because it's going to help you see for the experiment, but I'll move it. Okay, so here's our clouds. And when they get so full of water droplets, they condense. So that's called condensation. And they get so full and so heavy that they have nothing left to do but drop down to the earth in the form of rain, hail, sleet, or snow, depending on the temperature. So I did a mix. So down comes the precipitation. And it can go into lakes, rivers, ponds, even a puddle. And we call that water collection or accumulation. Okay, and then what happens to it? Right? You have a puddle on the ground one day, and maybe 2 days later it's gone. What happened? What happened was the heat of the sun dried it up. But then where did it go? It goes up as a water vapor, which is a gas. We don't see it happening, but I'm going to show it to you in a minute so you know what it is. And that's called evaporation. So, first, you get the big cloud that needs to empty out. Then down comes the precipitation. It goes up as evaporation. It turns into condensation. I'm going to put another arrow there. Condensation is when it turns into water droplets in the cloud. And then again, the cloud gets so big and heavy it needs to empty. So I'm going to teach you a song that I made up years ago before they had YouTube. First you get the big cloud that needs to empty out. So down comes the precipitation. It goes up as evaporation. It turns into condensation. And then you get the big cloud that needs to empty out. So down comes the precipitation. It goes up as evaporation. It turns into condensation. And then you got the big cloud again that needs to empty out. That's why it's called a cycle. It happens over and over again. As long as we have the sun to warm that air and evaporate, causing water vapor, it's going to continue the cycle over and over again. So, we mentioned some big words, and since Miss Sweeney really doesn't have the sun in here, I'm using the hot plate that we had, green eggs and ham in. And what I did was I put water in it as our water collection. And since I don't have the sun, the electricity of the heat of the pan is making it hot. Now I'm going to lift the lid and you will see the condensation. Condensation is when those water droplets collect in the cloud. And when I lift, you'll also see the water vapor. It's a gas, so you can't see it. You'll see it now because I have it on the hot pan. But we don't see it because it doesn't happen this quickly like it does with the pan. So when I lift the lid, you're going to look for water vapor. That's the evaporation. That's the water going back up into the air. Okay? Can you see the steam? Steam is vapor. Now, if I were to hold my hand over this for a few minutes, my hand would become what? Yes, wet. Okay? Now watch. I'm going to turn it actually up higher so you can see the steam a little better. I'm going to move this up so you can see the steam. Okay. And while we're letting that heat up, as the sun would, any water collected on the ground or in lakes and rivers and streams, I'm going to show you the experiment I sent home for you to do. Okay. Okay, your mom or dad picked up a bag, a Ziploc bag, with a cloud in the sun, just like I have up here. And in it, you should put some water, don't fill it, and some food coloring. And then hang it with tape seal it on a very sunny window. And then you will see the water cycle happen in your bag. You'll see the water droplets, okay? Because the sun's heat from outside will warm it to evaporate it so that it goes into the air and forms water droplets, condensation, and then they'll drop back down. Okay, so let's lift up our lid so you can see the water vapor. That's evaporation. So, pretending that the electric frying pan is the sun because it's being heated. Pretending the lid is a cloud. Okay, so you're going to see steam, that's the water vapor. See it? Now, if you look in the lid, you see water droplets. That's the condensation. And when it gets so full, put it on there for a few minutes, it'll be like it's raining. So we'll give that a few minutes. So I'm going to send you this really cool, you don't have to do this one, but it would be fun. And if Mom and Dad have a special brass fastener they put in the middle, you glue each picture in the order, and then you can spin it. Okay, but this one is for all of you to do. It's like mine. Okay, you're going to color. Okay, and then maybe explain it to a grown-up what you learned. And then I'm going to send another experiment for you to do tomorrow. Okay, so watch. We have the lid. We're pretending to be our cloud. It's catching the steam, which is our evaporation, our water vapor, just like a cloud would. And then I'm going to shake it, and it'll look like it's rain coming down. Clouds don't have to shake for the rain to come out. They just get so full and heavy, they have to empty. Okay, ready? Hopefully you can see it. See the water vapor? Now, you see the drips? Like it's rain. And now if I kept this on, eventually the pan would get empty because so much heat causes that water vapor. Okay, boys and girls, so one more time. The water cycle. First you get the big cloud that needs to empty out, so down comes the precipitation. It goes up as evaporation. It turns into condensation in the cloud. And then you get the big cloud that needs to empty out. Down comes the precipitation. It goes up as evaporation. It turns into condensation. And it just happens over and over and over again. And I'm going to send you a wonderful video clip and story that you are going to love. All right, I'll see you tomorrow.